The chocolate fondue fountain, it's still here, and I haven't been here in years. This is the Makino Sushi and Seafood Buffet on Decatur and Flamingo. I used to come here all the time, but it's been quite a while. I wanted to see how it is now. Although most people come here for the all-you-can-eat sushi and seafood, I actually was told that their chicken teriyaki here was really good. I know that sounds strange, but a good friend of mine told me a long time ago, you've got to try their teriyaki, that it's out of this world. Ever since then, I always come and try a little bit of the chicken teriyaki and the beef teriyaki. They have a pretty big selection of non-seafood and non-sushi items. If you read the reviews on Yelp, it's pretty mixed. The dinner goes for about $40. I'm here for lunch and it's $24.99 as of now. But the prices are a fluid situation right now. Things are unstable and the quality also is unstable. In fact, I went back to the Imperial Sushi where I had the all-you-can-eat lobster and crab, and wow, it is not what it used to be. In fact, I was so upset I pinned a comment on the video. So those of you who know about that video, you might want to check out my latest comment. The quality of food and the prices are uncertain these days. But on this day, for $24.99, this is the selection at Makino's lunch buffet. Currently during the lunch buffet, they do not have fresh oysters and they don't have crab legs. And as far as the sushi goes, if you like rolls, this is the place for you. Some people don't like the sushi here when it comes to the nigiri and the sashimi, but people really say the rolls are really good. They even have a hand roll station. As far as the hot items, it's actually a really good selection. The quality I found to be not bad at all. It's actually pretty good. They even have a ramen station and they have a large selection, a pretty good variety for an off-strip, non-resort hotel buffet for about $24.99 at lunchtime. But as you can see, the sushi does look pretty impressive. However, some people on the reviews are mixed about that. So when it comes to sushi, you have the nigiri and the sashimi, and then you have the rolls. The rolls here looked very attractive, very colorful. They had some unique toppings. Some of them were a different sort of spice. I tasted a good mix of cilantro, tomato, and it kind of reminded me of pico de gallo. And I think they even had tobiko, which is the flying fish roll. It's a little bit more firmer in texture than the usual masago. They were really creative with the rolls, and a lot of the vegetarian rolls, a lot of the creamy rolls with the mayo and the imitation crab were really good. And then they had the ones with the seafood items in it. They had a large selection. Spicy tuna in a California.
Yes. Well done, man.
Wow.
Looks like
nice.
ice cream, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, my friend. Ready?
Another thing that Makino was well known for was their salads and their vegetables. They had all kinds of salads, a good variety and very creative, and some of the salads were incredible. I can't find some of these salads in other places. They're unique to Makino. The salads are usually well maintained. Usually when I go to Makino, the salads are of the best quality. The vegetables incredibly fresh. This is somebody prepping the crab for the dinner buffet. The lunch buffet is currently 11:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. At 2 p.m. they close until opening again for dinner, 5:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. Everything.
¿Quieres spicy?
Yeah. So the ramen and the udon are not going to be your premium top quality specialty house level. But if you're not really picky about it, the quality isn't too bad. Actually pretty good for a buffet. I even got to meet the executive chef here who stopped by to say hi. His name is Mitsuru Yoshida. And now let me show you the dessert section of this buffet. The salads and the vegetable dishes here were as I remember them to be. Very fresh and very good quality. The teriyaki here isn't overly impressive, but it's actually pretty decent, pretty good. But ever since my friend said that to me, that the teriyaki here was so good, every time I come here I have to try the teriyaki. Both the steak and the chicken has a good amount of moistness and juiciness, and it is actually pretty decent for teriyaki. It's just not going to be that heavenly otherworldly experience. And lately their iced green tea is my drink of choice. This is the tilapia. I'm not a huge fan of tilapia, but it was okay. Just the way it was cooked, I think, was a little bit dry on the surface, but the inside was pretty decently moist. The gyoza here, which is kind of like your pot sticker or wonton, I would give it about a 6 out of 10. Pretty average. There wasn't much flavor on the skin. The inside filling was about average. It was about a buffet quality gyoza or wonton. I got a little bit of the shrimp. In fact, I got a little bit of everything. If you could tell, I was trying to keep the quantity down. I was getting maybe 1 or 2 bites at the most, so I could try more of a variety of things. This is the sukiyaki. This is served buffet style. Thinly sliced beef with mushrooms and bok choy or napa cabbage, along with extremely soft tofu. This is in a slightly sweet broth that kind of tastes like soy sauce, only it's a little bit lighter. As far as the soy sauce on the tables, there were none. They gave you the instant packets. So if you're gonna make your wasabi soy sauce mix, be prepared to open about 2 or 3 packets. Some of the rolls looked really attractive, so I wanted to try them. Some of them have your classic combinations like your imitation crab and mayo, your shrimp. Just keep in mind that rolls can be very filling. This is a large quantity of rice. When it's rolled like this, maybe it won't seem like a lot, but when you unroll them or put it out on your plate, it adds up to quite a bit of rice. The rolls were excellent. I loved the rolls. Some of them were really rich and creamy with the mayo sauce, the toppings and the crunch that I got from all the combinations. Excellent rolls. Now, all of the sushi are not going to compare to your favorite all-you-can-eat sushi place. I'm pretty sure. But it wasn't bad here. It was actually pretty good. And you get the dessert and you get the hot items, kind of a larger variety. So it's kind of up to you on what you want. If you want the exquisite or top-notch sushi, you're probably better off going to a sushi-only place. But this place, for the variety at around $25 for lunch, is probably worth it. The hand rolls were also excellent. But now when you talk about dinner, that's a different story. A lot of the people were complaining that the crab legs were small and salty and were not good. But the hot items and the other things they had to offer at Makino I thought were pretty good. Like this ramen was really good, except for, I don't know what this was supposed to be. Was it chashu or the pork or pork belly? It was like mummified or fossilized. It was hard and plasticky, like it was maybe a month or two old, or is it the way they're supposed to serve it? I've never had anything like that. The broth was rich and pretty good. For a tonkatsu broth, it wasn't the best I had, but like I said, buffet quality ramen, it was actually pretty good. Would I have it again? Yeah, I'd have it again, as long as I pick out the fossilized pork belly or whatever that is. Now on to the desserts. I found the desserts here to be pretty impressive. The chocolate fondue fountain, they have these skewers, wooden skewers, where you can take your marshmallow, run it under the chocolate. They have a little opening at the base of the plastic shield they made because of COVID, and then you can get your chocolate onto your marshmallow, and some people actually do this with fruit. I wanted to try a little bit of the fruit with the chocolate. I don't know what kind of combination it would make. I know that strawberries go good with chocolate, but they didn't have strawberries. So I just did one pineapple, just to experiment. Not exactly sure why I have to get Jello all the time. I just can't resist Jello, especially when they have red and green. I don't know. This was kind of a surprise. These are white chocolate covered raspberries. They were really good. I don't really like white chocolate, but with the raspberry, it was amazing. I loved it. It was a really good dessert. I think the raspberries would have been better with dark chocolate. The raspberries were a little bit frozen, and the white chocolate kind of balanced it out with its sweetness and creaminess. But rather than the artificial flavors of the white chocolate, I think I'd prefer real chocolate more. The strawberry shortcake was a disappointment. It was rather dry as far as the cake itself goes. But strawberries with whipped cream always look good. It always makes me think about Marie Callender's strawberry pies. The fruit tarts were really good. Most fruit tarts I have are not as good as the ones here. The fruit tarts here were excellent. The cream filling was really good, and the crust was just like a sugar cookie. The blueberry taste in the blueberry mousse was really faint. You couldn't really taste the blueberry that much, but it was better with the raspberry because you had something coming through. But the mousse itself, a little bit bland, not much of a blueberry flavor. For more details on Makino Sushi and Seafood Buffet, check the description below. That's gonna do it for this one. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.